If you have ever wondered what it would be like to make an artificial intelligence, you came to the right place. A few weeks ago, I decided that I wanted to make an AI chatbot for myself, and if you stick around until the end of the video, you will find out how I did it. Hello and welcome to my channel, and without any further delay, let's get into the video. So, I started this with zero coding experience. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. So I did a few Google searches about what coding languages there are and what would be the easiest to make an AI with. I found a few good options, but I ultimately decided to use Python. If you don't already know what that is, it's a high-level programming language known for its readability and simplicity. Python emphasizes code readability and clear syntax, which makes it accessible to beginners like me, but it's also powerful enough for coding professionals. It's an extremely versatile coding language, and after doing some research into it, I decided that it was perfect for this. Now that I knew what coding language I wanted to use, I went ahead and downloaded Python. But I had a bunch of problems because I downloaded the wrong version for my computer. So after deleting that and getting the right one, I was finally ready to make my AI. As you might have expected though, my next problem was that I did not know how to code. Which this is where YouTube Python tutorials and ChatGPT became my best friends. ChatGPT was super helpful for fixing bugs in my code and speeding up the learning process for me. There were multiple really good tutorials here on YouTube, and I will go ahead and put the link for at least one of those tutorials in the description for you. So finally, with YouTube and ChatGPT's help, I was able to start putting my ideas into code. I wanted this chatbot to be able to do a few things. The first thing I wanted my AI to be able to do was to be able to learn just by me talking to it, which turned out to be much more complicated than I thought it would be. I started by writing code that listens for words that I say to it, and when it sees my input, the code checks its database file for that input and its corresponding response. If something I say to it is not already saved in the file, then I wanted the AI to ask for a response to the input I gave it, and then save both the new input and response I gave to it in its database. I was able to make this work, but I quickly noticed a few problems. The first problem being that any time I made a spelling mistake, the AI would register that as a new input to be saved. I did not want its database to be cluttered with a million spelling mistakes. I realized then that I would need to figure out a way for the AI to have the ability to spell check. So I added code that would calculate the similarity between sentences I say to it and sentences it already has learned, as well as calculating the Levenshtein distance, which is a function that measures the minimum number of single character edits required to change one word into another. With these changes, the AI became pretty good at ignoring spelling mistakes. So for example, if I said hello to it, but only spell hello with one L, it would recognize that I'm trying to say hello and respond accordingly, instead of saving the spelling mistake as a new input. But the next problem I ran into though was that now when the AI does the spell check, it has a hard time being able to tell the difference between sentences that only had a single word that was new. So for example, if I asked it what color is an apple, and it did not already have an answer to that question, then it would ask me to give it a response and I would tell it an apple is red. But then later, if I tried to ask it what color is a banana, the spell check function would change the word banana in my input to apple, and then tell me apples are red. So some new sentences wouldn't get saved anymore if they were similar enough to sentences it already had a response for. I obviously had to find a way to get around this. My first idea was just to upgrade the AI's spell checking code, but I am still very new to coding and I could not for the life of me find a way to upgrade that on my own. Which led me to the idea that maybe I should use the import function to basically bring in either a spell check function or a word database that someone else has already made. I decided against that though because I wanted to try to create this chatbot without using anyone else's work. So I added another function in the code to give each response the AI has learned a score from 0 to 3. And it makes the AI ask if a response it gave to something I say to it was good or bad. If I say that the response was good, that response gets +1 points, and that keeps happening every time I say it gave a good response, until the score reaches the threshold of 3. Once the score of a response gets to 3, then the AI stops asking me to give it feedback for that response. But before that threshold, if I say the response it gave to me was bad, then the chatbot asks me for a new response and saves the new input and response as a pair. This way, I'm able to give the AI feedback in real time and it learns and becomes smarter as I talk to it. And after all of that, if the AI still gives me a wrong response, I can say these exact words, "That's not what I meant," to it, and it will ask me to give it a better response. Once I finished that, I decided that I wanted to create my own interface for the AI. What I mean by that is that I wanted to create like my own window that I designed to pop up when I run the code, that I can interact with the AI in. But this was way more difficult than I initially thought it would be. I almost got it to work, but I had to change a bunch of my original code for the AI to work in the new interface instead of the one provided by Python. So after hours of reworking my AI and getting rid of the new bugs the interface was causing, I scrapped that idea and went back to using the Python interface because it was too difficult for me to get that to work. And then after naming my chatbot Jarvis, that was pretty much it. And now that we've gotten the process of making this AI out of the way, I'm going to show you how Jarvis works. So you start by opening the AI file and hitting the run button. Once Jarvis is up and running, you can immediately start interacting with him. We'll start by saying hello, and since he does not have any inputs or responses saved yet, he says this. And we will tell him to say greetings as a response when I say hello. Now let's try saying the word hi to him. Because of the word matching function in the spell check code, Jarvis is able to give us a good response to that. Next, let's ask him how he's doing. Then we give him a response. And now he's able to tell us that he's doing good when we ask him that. Now let's go over to the responses file and see what that looks like. In here you can see my inputs and their corresponding responses and scores. Isn't that cool? Alright, if you've watched the video until this point, I just want to say thank you for watching. I plan on making more videos here on the channel about coding, but I also want to try doing some other things like some commentary videos and stuff. And I do have a few other video ideas that I'm working on right now, and I should be uploading those videos soon. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and you should like and subscribe and all that.